State of Idaho made national headlines this week. Guess the setting. Did you guess school board? If you did, you nailed it. Hundreds of people showed up to a Caldwell School Board meeting as the district looks at a policy centering on gender identity. It's a very sensitive topic, make no mistake. The proposed policy in Caldwell is about gender identity and sexual orientation and how the school district could make students that identify differently feel more comfortable in school by adopting policies that allow them to use bathrooms and locker rooms of their choice by addressing their preferred pronoun. But depending on where you saw the news this week, you'll have a vastly different view into what happened. So let's start with coverage on this topic on one of the biggest cable platforms on the planet.
A heated hearing after parents showed up to sound off on a new transgender bathroom and locker room policy. Take a look at this.
Imagine you are a young female, shy, feeling awkward about your growing body, and your school has allowed a biological male to undress in the same locker room as you.
Please, I've already said no applause.
I don't think that it's right for a boy who feels like he's a girl to change in the same room as the girls.
Before you put a kid in harm's way, you better throw this policy out.
All right, meeting has been adjourned.
The fact that the chair of the school board shut down the meeting after that raucous applause for your side of the argument, mind you, what does that tell you, Brittany?
They have no interest in hearing how the parents feel. They have no interest in including us in their decisions. They are just tyrants, and they just want to push their agenda and do their own thing.
What's to stop a prepubescent boy who wants to, quite frankly, get a look at girls changing from identifying as a girl and then just going on in there?
That's a good question, Todd. The problem we have here is the school board is attempting to force a policy on parents and their children and remove their privacy and put them in harm's way.
So what did you take from that? It seems that the narrative could be from the TV host and the Caldwell parents there is that the Caldwell School Board shut down the meeting because they didn't want to hear their side of the debate. So, okay, here on the 208, we work in TV. We get television timing, we get television producing, so maybe the cable news clip was edited for time. Only the producers and the team on that show can tell you what their motivation or angle was for the segment. Well, our team was in the room for that whole meeting, so here's some added context that was not included in the cable clip.
We pay your guys' wage. We voted for you. We can vote you out.
Amen.
Unfortunately, after several warnings from the board chair,
We can stop this meeting. I've already asked you folks.
people got a little out of hand and were cheering from the audience, and we're not respecting the order of the school board meeting. And so because there was not order and because we could not maintain order, we did have to end the school board meeting tonight.
All right, meeting has been adjourned.
We are the people. We are the people. Do your job. Do your job, you cowards. That's the only reason. Because your son is trans. You shouldn't be around children. Yeah, you shouldn't be around children.
The Caldwell School Board and the Caldwell School District believe in democracy, and we believe in communicating respectfully. And unfortunately tonight reached a place where people were not communicating respectfully.
Okay, so our local news clip maybe has a different tone than the cable news clip. The one that we showed you, a little more chaotic. It seems the narrative of the extended clip, though, is that the board adjourned because the meeting got out of hand. No malicious intent or effort to cut off one side or the other, just things got out of hand. In fact, the Fox clip heavily implies that the meeting was cut off because parents were clapping and supporting the conservative view. The school board asked the entire room to be respectful and not apply to either side. Either side is the key here, by the way. Remember that there are those that showed up at the meeting who support the idea to allow students to be themselves and identify how they feel. Now, Caldwell probably didn't expect hundreds and hundreds of people lined out into the parking lot for a school board meeting. But instead of guessing or assigning motivation to the school board decision to end that meeting, why don't we ask them? Well, our Brian Holmes did. He spoke with the board president.
Have you ever been involved in anything like this scenario before?
Like what happened last night in the meeting?
Yes.
It was never like this. It wasn't, this was more of a mob mentality kind of thing, you know? And so it was scary. This is the first time that I had, it was intimidating. I was scared for the safety of my board and some of the students that were here.
Were you surprised by the turnout?
Yes. very much so. What I was more surprised is that many of these people that were here were not Caldwell School District patrons. They were from out of town.
So the number of people that were there surprised you. What about the tone?
I figured that that's the way it was going to be, but you know, Brian, I wish that more of our meetings had more people that were that could come and speak, and you know what, because you know we are not elected officials, elected by our constituents, and we represent them, so we want to hear what they have to say.
Just not to that volume?
Probably, you know, I don't mind the volume. It's just the temperament and the hostility and aggressiveness. I think it was uncalled for, and it does not define civil discourse.
Okay, so a few things here. Like the school board president has said, they want to hear from parents on all sides of the issue, and parents should be involved in sensitive conversations. We can clearly see that there are two sides that are very far apart on the issue of gender identity in public schools, and frankly, how students should use bathrooms and locker rooms. And that conversation is up to that community. And there's a lot more we could touch on, but we'll leave it there for now. The problem here, though, is the fact that the Caldwell School Board is possibly being portrayed to a national audience as being unwilling to listen to the conservative parents that have serious and valid concerns. That is not true, though. They did want to listen to both sides. And parents are entitled to their opinion on any of this, and they should share it. But making your local school board a target of an already hostile mob, as it was called, it's simply not productive. And I've spoken to school board members across our area over the last several years, and they tell me that these volunteer positions are the most stressful thing that they have ever dealt with. Screaming, yelling, threats, they get it all, constantly, all the time, on all different kinds of subjects. Now, is this subject emotional? Yeah, it is. It's the sensitive, awkward reality of being a parent of a developing person. But treating this school board with a hostile tone, it's unfair. And frankly, it only escalates the already fire-hot rhetoric around this topic. Stand up for what you believe in. Share your opinion. Engage in discussion. But stop being lazy and resorting to aggressive behavior aimed at intimidating people you don't agree with. By the way, the claims of biased journalism, it goes both ways. The state senator in the Fox clip refused to talk to our team when we got in touch with him at the state capitol. He told our Brian Holmes he would not speak to us on the 208 because he thought that our coverage of the event on that night was quote unquote untrue. It's his opinion, but we stand by the work in the clips that we just showed you. By the way, the invitation to talk about policy in the situation remains open to the state senator. Guess we'll circle back next week.